Planet Vero Studio is powered by the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. MyNextHomeFinder.com. Chris Nolan grew up in New York until he joined the U.S. Marine Corps in 1996. He then joined the U.S. Capitol Police until making the transition to real estate. Shortly after, the Nolan Group was formed. They continue to strive for the best possible experience for buyers and sellers. How can they help you in your journey? And now, here's The Nolan Show with your host, Chris Nolan.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nolan Show. Glad you tuned in. Hope everybody's having a great week out there. With us as usual, we have Heather Lewis joining us here in the studio, and we got Jesse behind the scenes running the camera. And then after a long journey, we have an extra special guest here in the studio, Alisa Makarikhina.
Makarikhina.
Yeah, sorry about that. Finally made it here from the Ukraine.
Yes.
And you had a long journey, so I'm glad you made it here safely. How's everything going?
So far, so good. Finally, we're safe, and we're far from the middle of the conflict as far as possible. And we start our new life from the scratch and settling down. So I think now life starts from the beginning for us, for my family.
Okay. I mean, you guys picked up, you left. Now, you were on here a couple months ago. But you were still in Austria in the transition period. So now you're here, you're safe. Can you relax a little bit?
Yes, it's much more relaxed, and I can mention that because I checked the news much less than it was in Austria, because it still was like so strong, really strong feeling that something can happen in Europe and it may happen any minute. So that's good to be far from this.
Right. So now you're here, but a lot of people from Ukraine have gotten here now, right?
Yes, as was announced by officials, 1,000 refugees for Ukraine was already accepted by U.S. from the late February and till now. But the good side is that U.S. still will accept the refugees from Ukraine, so they didn't make any give us any numbers. So hopefully the people will get in a safe place and will be able to stay here as long as needed.
Was it very difficult for you to get everything together to get here?
It was, the couple thing that, first of all, there was no program. So if Europe developed in 2 weeks a strong program for the refugees, which supported the social side, the kids' school, medical insurance, US didn't do this till the late April and the beginning of May. So people trying to cross the border through Mexico, and let's say it was not the best option for my family. I have a daughter and mom, and it doesn't seem for me a safe idea. No matter that we own the tourist visa with my daughter, so we could fly in, but point is what we will do in here without the options to put her in a school, find work for me. So that was the first, thing that actually stopped us for flying in immediately after we getting out from Ukraine. But the other thing was that I have a pets, and that was because it's a restriction to travel with dogs into US from Ukraine. So it takes a month to get this permission and be able to travel with your pet. But our family was not able to leave her. It's besides all other things that happened with the documents, with the thing that you might still trying to get it from Ukraine, from your personal stuff, and all the small things that you still need, from vaccination till birth certificate, with everything needed time. But in general, this program United for Ukrainian, for now let's say it's a good example how fast it could be if the government want to make it fast. So now they actually made agreed it make it permissions for less than 2 weeks for the people mostly. So if it's no issues. But everything else it take long. So to get a work permission, it might take a month, which is put the people who's Ukrainians who usually work hard and actually prefer to earn less than stay in social support money to stay without a job. So it will be good if this let's say these authorities will be a little more faster in this process and let people work and earn by themselves, not to stay in social support, because it's not what actually we, like Ukrainians, we usually work and earn. That's we not have a strong social system, so we're not used to it, and so we prefer to earn the money.
Right. So. Well, I know all the Ukrainians I know, they're all hard workers, so definitely I can understand that. But then you guys also have the problem that the exchange rate has dropped.
Yeah, so by their official number again, the 40% of Ukrainians lost their jobs since the beginning of the war. So let's say the 42 million people, the 40%, maybe like 25 million the people who is working in Ukraine, they has working age. So 40% of that stay without a job. 10 million people are refugees right now. And besides all of this, the exchange rate to hryvnia was 25 for $1 in the beginning of February. Now it's more than 44. So even you still have a job, you lose more than almost half. Yeah. So that's and the price is going up because the fuel was from Russia, and we should mention that this winter will be horrible in Ukraine. That is why I'm also thanks that I'm here. So first of all, here's warm. That's that's best side. But so people lose the money. If they will have a job, they already lose a half. The prices increased 2-3 times. There's no agriculture season in Ukraine because there's bombing all the time. Something is going on. Occupied territories, they fire just harvesting the wheat. And so I don't know what will happen then. But the worst thing is that the two regions are totally under evacuation because there will be no central heating at all. So it's obligatory for any citizen to get out from there. And it's still like, let's say, nobody knows the exact numbers, but it could be up to 1 million people. In addition, in my city, where I'm from, it's just 30 miles, 25 miles from the war line. And already announced that will be no hot water and no chance to have what about the central heating, not clear, but it will be 3-4 times more expensive, or the temperature will be pretty much low. So Ukraine just nearby the 6 months of the great fight for democracy in Europe. But the point is that this winter, even the war will start, will be one of the hardest since the World War II, and Ukrainian people need a support, need the simple basic thing. Maybe they will need even provide the support with the food and long-term food and warm stuff and everything else for those who stayed in Ukraine.
Do you know if they have any avenues for people that are listening and watching, if they want to help the Ukrainians there?
That's a lot of governmental initiatives, including this, providing a governmental support, and a lot of volunteers organizations which work. I can provide the link. We can put it below. So, which is trusted and well known, and provide the aid for the really needed people who's in really need in the first line. So, in my city where I'm from. It's the first city which is not occupied from Russia region, from Russia troops, and so all these refugees first they showing up in my city. Actually, my apartments that thank God they're still not destroyed, and but people staying there, and it's already up to 150 people who crossing, going up and down from the two apartments. So for two small apartments, what was the chance that so many people going up and down? It's 100,000 people, additional people in the city, but they have 2/3 of the 1 million city people evacuated. So it's like people going up and down, and it's already infrastructure just. So we're trying to help those who coming up from trying to get out from occupied territory, from Kherson, from Mariupol, from Berdyansk, from Pologi, from cities which is less known than Irpin, Bucha, and Mariupol. It's so many cities. 10 regions are under attack each day.
That's crazy. I know you said you can get us those links, so we'll get those links and post them here. For anybody that's actually listening on the radio and you're not looking at us on the computer, just email us at info@thenolangroup.com, and we'll go ahead and get you those links. We'll respond back in those in the email with those links.
Thank you.
So absolutely, yeah, we gotta get the word out. Unfortunately, you know, a lot of the mainstream media it's started to fade away. Not fade away, but it's not being reported on as much. So that's why I wanted to make sure that we had you over here, and so we can get the word out a little bit more about what's going on.
The point is that they're trying to hide, they're trying to hide the truth, but truth is so horrible.
Right.
That even the Facebook or social media is trying to hide this post and say that you can't post something like this on your own Facebook page. So people just have no chance to find this out if not a special news channel about this, how many people can be killed in one day, how many kids were killed, and how many of them lose their families. That's also a huge problem.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's really a bad situation. We do have to take a quick break, so let's just kind of regroup. Everybody, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. So we'll be right here. Don't go anywhere. Even with all this financial uncertainty, real estate is still the best tool to build wealth. Whether you're looking at investments or using your real estate to provide a legacy, let us show you the way. I'm Chris Nolan of the Nolan Group of eXp Realty. Visit mynexthomefinder.com.
Beer, wine, and a burger that's fine. That's the grill at C.W. Willis. Enjoy beer and wine on a covered porch. Watch the big screen TV and enjoy the best burger in Indian River County. Happy hour with beer and wine. Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays from 4 to 6 at C.W. Willis, Oslo Road, Vero Beach.
Summertime in Florida. With Sturgis, you can enjoy your piece of paradise with insect repellent and weed control products. Sturgis is your DIY place just down the road on US 1 in Vero. Sturgis Lumber and Hardware.
Hello, this is Carol Jean Jordan, your tax collector here in Indian River County. All of our offices are scheduling appointments for in-office services, but you can get that little yellow sticker quicker by using our express lane. It's fast, convenient, and free when you pay with an e-check. Renew your registration on our website and select Pick Up at the Tax Collector's Office. Order before 3 p.m. and you can pick up your little yellow sticker on the same day. Order at irctax.com. That's irctax.com.
It's Bluegrass Night every Thursday at Marsh Landing Restaurant. Enjoy our famous swamp water with down-home favorites like frog legs, fried chicken, and peanut butter pie. The music starts at 6:30 every Thursday. Call for reservations. Bluegrass Night at Marsh Landing in Fellsmere.
Wild, untamed, hilarious. Riverside Theater's Comedy Zone. Experience the Treasure Coast's best stage for live stand-up comedy this Friday and Saturday night at 7 and 9 p.m. You'll laugh till it hurts. Start your night at Live in the Loop with live entertainment, food and drinks, and after, be entertained with nationally ranked comedians, including an opening act and headliner with cabaret-style seating and food and drink table service. Get tickets at riversidetheater.com.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. Or glad you guys are still here. We're talking with Alisa about her travels here and everything that's going on over in the Ukraine. If you're just tuning in, so thank you once again for joining us.
Thank you, invited.
And thank you for sharing your story. We were just talking about. Everybody looks at the big stuff, but there's a lot of little stuff that you guys are being hindered on. Correct?
Yes, that's a lot of small thing that dramatically change the people's life. And for example, some people can't leave Ukraine because they have disabled relatives or spouse, or they have a past that not like a social. They live in private buildings all their lives. They're not able to travel, and now they're not able to provide even the food, pet food for them, and they're trying to cover this. The kids lose their dreams. Especially my daughter, she was already got her, and she still have 2 years in school, but she already got the scholarship in the musical college, and she lose this because she playing musical instrument that actually is only national Ukrainian instrument. There are no teachers outside of Ukraine, and that's the dream that collapsed in one day by will one man, and there are other families that just my father disappeared in Mariupol. We still don't know what's going on with him. Hopefully he's alive, but what will happen with him during the winter time? The hospitals and pharmacies, there no access to the pharmacies in the territories. People, it's a huge problem. The humanitarian aid, of course, a lot of aid is in Ukraine, but problem is that it's not allowed to be delivered. People are struggling and dying. My neighbor, 43 years old woman, died from cancer in 6 weeks because she was not able to access the hospital.
So they're not even getting their regular prescriptions.
Nothing.
No, unfortunately, a lot of that stuff stopped. So, and like Alisa was saying, the social media platforms to get the word out, even though the mainstream media is, not covering it as much as they should, now they're being censored, so they can't even put out their own story onto social media, which is really it's really disgusting.
Yeah, it is disgusting.
Yes, and also issues, for example, for a lot of people who, for example, went to Europe, for example, Poland, or we were in Austria, in Tyrol, beautiful place, but pointed that people there settle in the same place for 400 years, 6 families settle in the same place. So Ukraine is very multicultural, mixed country. And each region have their own tradition. And let's say Ukrainians have much more in common with US. We're much more fast. We can get how you can spend like a whole weekend and half of Friday and Monday just off, 5 weeks of vacation. Everything is too slow for us. We're trying to get something fast, and that's a problem. And people not accepting the foreign. They don't know what to do, how to integrate the war refugees. And they have these horrible camps, which actually not integrate people or kids. And if your kid is a refugee, no matter how smart she is, she will go to a special refugee school and have no chance to attend to university. Because if she's not for the 5th grade, she's not attending the special school, the high grade school from the 5th grade, right. 10. So no chance, no matter how good are they. So that is why a lot of people trying to get that different chance, because education and quality of education is super important for Ukrainians. It's one of the main things which family can spend their money to give a good quality education from the childhood till their university. 85% of the kids from in Ukraine actually good take their bachelor or master degree.
Wow.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it's impressive.
Yeah, they are pretty impressive. They, I mean, I've been over there a couple times, and I mean, it's some beautiful places over there. It's everybody is friendly, so it's it's definitely a shame. So, we're definitely sorry you got to go through that. I want to get as much attention out, as possible. Hopefully, we can do whatever we can to help.
It will be good, if the programs that. Also, that the programs, the effort the people made all together will be more addressed to the people who's really in need, not from just these places that we already hear about, the Kiev places, the Bucha pain, that was horrible things. But can you imagine the territory that is almost like France occupied right now? How horrible stories are going on there, how much help people will need after. Hopefully we will have a win and they push back the Russians. What will happen next? I heard in the news today that the mayor of Irpin, which is nearby Kiev, which has had the nightmare there during the 2 months from the Russians, they make a deal with mayor of Miami that as soon as it's possible, they will try to change, how Miami will try to help to Irpin to build up their city again.
Okay.
But point is that we have so many other places that would need to help that people don't know about them at all.
Right.
And the same horrible stories are going on there. Schools, I can get it, the Russians destroy schools, hospitals. They destroy the private buildings. children's playground. So they want to just destroy the infrastructure and make people never come back to this territory. That's their strategy.
It's all about destroying the spirit, of the people, and it's disgusting.
It is. Yeah.
So probably the small cities, maybe in US too, or in Europe, need to make this small deal with small communities all over Ukraine that in future, we all believe will be our win in the end. They will help, to rebuild or, for example, make some strategies, bring the new technologies to make it something new, absolutely new for that, maybe new business, because we don't know what will be the end of the story, how bad it will be, or maybe it will be nothing and it will just like empty field that we need to clean up and build again, maybe something new and high tech.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I know whenever it is over, there's going to be a lot of work to be done.
That's true. That is why for now we're working in different fields with people who have some expertise. For example, in healthcare, we're trying to make a prognosis for those territories who are not occupying and build some strategy what to do next, because right now everything what was done before is messed up. Yeah. So, and we need to look forward and have not just plan A, B, C, and different combination of this plan for healthcare, for our kids' education, for IT technology development, because Ukraine is so much forward comparing to Europe in IT, and everything is digital governance. So that's beautiful thing. No other country have it now. So that was what was developing during the 3 years. So we can make this and we could develop this and going forward. But still, to do this, we need our kids be supported in education, scholarships, and give them the chance to study and get all this integration experience, see more places, see more opportunities. Who's now like my daughter, as she's 14, 15, even at 10, they do know that they will fight for their independence as we did, that parents did, they will do the same. So we could say that Ukraine in a long-term perspective will be independent, and democracy is the best and strongest in Ukraine, I think, all over the Europe. We never give to anybody to rule our country and, feed a dictator, which is, washed out from our parliament or whatever who will be. So I just think we need to invest in the kids in the future and support those who need help. I mean, about the pensioners, and give a right for us Ukrainians to work and develop, and also because a lot of us want to come back.
I was going to say, you definitely want to go back home at the same time.
It will be depends, if we'll have a place to come back in long-term perspective, because I lived in Ukraine in Soviet Union. I lived in Ukraine during the 1990s. That was a very a scary time there. And I don't want actually that my daughter had such experience. That's what she had in her life. It's much more than enough for 15 years old girl. So if it will be safe, first of all, if we'll be able to travel to Crimea, which is a part of our family, like a history, if, it will be safe enough to her to come back and develop her career and do something good for Ukraine. So that will be her choice after she will get the full education. But before this, I truly believe that's not good place to young, inspired, blonde girl to spend time, because it's a lot of weapon too.
On the plus side, she is an extremely smart kid.
I was going to say, and this is her new home.
Yeah.
And we welcome.
So she'll be starting school here with the rest of the kids.
Soon.
Yeah.
About a week?
Yes, it's next Wednesday, but she just finished the Austrian school 2 weeks ago, so she's complaining about the short summer break in addition to everything, but she's so excited. Yes. We visited the school today, and she's super excited.
That's so
awesome.
That's so good.
Well, we're going to do everything we can to help. We'll get those links out to everybody. For everybody, once again, if you're listening, email us at info@thenolangroup.com. We'll send you the links if you're not on social media. We'd love to get the information out. Unfortunately, we are out of time for right now, so we got to cut out of here. But thank you for joining us.
Yes, thank you.
For inviting.
Absolutely. Hopefully we'll have you back again soon. And for everybody else, thanks for tuning in. Remember to follow us on Facebook. Follow us to your new home. We'll see you again soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.